Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia. We want peace in
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us. Bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor. If you see a you must talk it. And I mean you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
When you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, so go in deep and deeper. Put it to the chicken.
Let's say a pleasant good morning to beautiful people in Radio Land. Welcome to another presentation of the Pre News this beautiful Monday, April 27, 2026. Wendell is here, and I'm not here alone. I'm here with Esther Daco. Esther, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning to you, Aliyu. Good morning to the good people of Liberia. It's good to be here this morning on Monday, fresh back for the weekend. Yeah, where we can all talk about what's happening in our country.
Aliyu, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nimla. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Mama Labira. Aliyu Masade, glad to be here this morning. How was the weekend?
Yeah, the weekend was
Yeah,
great.
the weekend was
On my end.
great. Mine was great.
Okay.
How was yours?
So far, yeah, the weekend was okay, even though very busy, but it was okay. The only bad part of the weekend is another assassination attempt were made on our president.
Yeah,
That was
I saw that
yeah,
video clip.
Hmm.
Man,
again.
like,
I don't really know why they are after this man. It's just crazy. Well, at least the individual is already undergoing investigation and have been charged with some crime. Some charges have been made on him already. So yes, 131-year-old boy. But so far so good. Family, everything is okay. Yes.
okay, Aaliyah,
Thank God.
thank you very much. Everything is well from your end, from my side too. Everything is okay, like Esther said.
Mhm.
I'm spying something this morning. My eyeball
I
can't
can
control. Whoa. I'm
Provide
gonna give me
okay.
some. Okay, you can give me some. You see. All right,
Provide.
folks. Let's say a pleasant welcome. This is the Print News on Freedom FM 87.9. And together we have in our studio this morning the hard copies of the Inquirer newspaper on the front page Africa newspaper. So because of time, we'll run you through a few stories. Let's take some top stories. It's a call to justify. Bomi County lawmaker faces House leadership scrutiny over alleged misleading claims on budget passage. And we see the bombing lawmaker together with the regime speaker right here on this legislative beat. And let's get to legal issues. Institutional knowledge gap, where investigators lack understanding of government operations in U.S. 6.2 million case. And this news is coming. I'll find a top story from the diaspora. From goodwill to lasting impact, Emmanuel Nuku Reeves, Senior, rallies Grand Crew Association to adopt results-driven approach to development and donates 10,000 at U.S. convention. And this is good news for my county, Grand Crew County. That's good news. A couple of my folks were in attendance. But let's move on with more stories. It says, youth, yeah, the cause of leadership and acts for their turn. Learning from the past. It has got to be steps. It has got to be stages. You have got to have a record on rejoicing. That's on rejecting a senator seat. We said this would be condoning a false act. May that be a lesson to others. Courage matters, but it must be guided by discipline and purpose. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former president of Liberia. The past mistakes, the rights riot, the coup, the next president, Madam Sirleaf, got to turn power over peacefully. That really means a whole lot for Liberia and me, Asatu Sharif of the University of Liberia. And let's take one more story. Liberia and Sierra Leone face renewed scrutiny over crackdowns on dissent following lawmakers' expulsion and activist sentencing. creeping dictatorship is right here on the front page of the Front Page Africa newspaper. Let's take a few lines from this story. Let's run you through a few lines. Where is it? I'm trying to get to it. Yes, I'm there. Okay. And it says, as Liberia and Sierra Leone continue their fragile recovery from years of civil conflict, a series of high-profile prosecutions and disciplinary actions in both countries is raising alarm among civil society groups and regional observers about a possible rollback of free speech and political dissent. In Liberia, the recent expulsion of Representative Yeke Koluba, the 6-month imprisonment of social media influencer Justin Opa Yezen, widely known as Prophet Key, and the sentencing of entertainer and political activist Zainab Sharif to 4 years and 2 months in prison in Sierra Leone have intensified criticism over both governments' commitment to protecting free speech and political dissent. On April 17, Representative Koluba of Montserrat County District 10 was expelled by Liberia's House of Representatives following remarks he made concerning the long-standing border dispute between Liberia and Guinea. Koluba publicly suggested that available evidence appeared to support Guinea's territorial claim, comments that sparked fierce backlash from fellow lawmakers and ultimately resulted into his removal. Earlier on February 13, Prophet Key was sentenced to 6 months in prison after Liberia's Supreme Court found him guilty of criminal contempt over social media remarks deemed insulting to Chief Justice Yamin Kwekwe, his mother, and the full bench of the court. The ruling followed a showcase hearing centered on statements in which Yazin criticized the Chief Justice, used offensive language, and accused the Supreme Court of corruption. He was ordered to serve 180 days at Monrovia Central Prison. In addition to the prison term, the court required him to issue a formal written apology to the Supreme Court and Liberian women for 5 consecutive days and sign a behavior bond committing to refrain from vulgar public attacks. Critics contend that the punishment against Koluba was disproportionate and intended to silence an outspoken independent voice. Prophet Key's sentencing has similarly fueled debate over whether Liberia's judiciary is legitimately safeguarded its institutional integrity for overstepping into the suppression of personal expression. For many observers, both cases have become flashpoints in growing concerns about restrictions on free speech. One of the most vocal critics has been the Press Union of Liberia in a sharply worded statement issued last week under the theme, "No Rescue Without Freedom." The PUL expressed deep concern over what it described as the gradual erosion of democratic norms, particularly freedom of speech and expression under the administration of Joseph Boakai. Democracy is not tested in moments of agreement, but in how a society treats dissent, the union stated. Today, many Liberians, journalists, students, activists, and ordinary citizens are increasingly anxious about whether they can speak freely without fear of intimidation, arrest, or reprisal. This growing sense of unease should concern all who believed in the promise of Liberia's democratic future. The PUL further argued that an administration elected on a rescue platform must remain firmly committed to the principles that sustain democracy, including respect for fundamental rights, adherence to the rule of law, and unwavering confidence in judicial independence. These are not optional values, the union stress. They are the foundation of they are the foundation of legitimate governance. The press union directly criticized the administration of Joseph Boakai, that's President Joseph Boakai, noting that a government elected on a rescue agenda must uphold the fundamental principles of democracy, including respect for human rights, the rule of law, and the judicial independence. Key concerns raised. The union outlines several developments it believes signal shrinking civic space and weakening adherence to due process. Among them include the controversial removal of House Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, the continued detention of Justin Opayezen for criminal contempt by the Supreme Court of Liberia, the violent suppression of peaceful protests, including demonstrations by students of the University of Liberia on April 14, the expulsion of Representative Yeke Koluba by a narrow majority in the House of Representatives, efforts to undermine the Freedom of Information Act through proposed non-disclosure agreements for government employees, legislative moves to amend the Abdullah Kamara Act of for press freedom to potentially reintroduce criminal penalties for speech. According to the PUL, these actions collectively risk reversing hard-won gains in press freedom, including the repeal of laws criminalizing libel and sedition. The union stressed that freedom of expression is a constitutional right protected under Article 15 of the Liberian Constitution and cautioned against any actions that bypass legal procedures or undermine judicial authority. The judiciary must remain the final arbiter of justice or for disputes, the statement noted, warning that disregarded for legal processes could weaken public trust in governance. The PUL also condemned the use of force against peaceful protesters, stating that citizens must be allowed to assemble and express grievances without fear. Call to action. The PUL called on the government to uphold freedom of expression in both principle and practice, respect the independence of the judiciary, and show due process in all actions affecting citizens, and intimidation and violence against peaceful protesters. Avoid legislative rollbacks that criminalize speech. Freedom as the foundation. The union concluded by underscoring that Liberia's democratic process has been built through sacrifice and must be protected at a time of economic hardship and uncertainty. Silencing voices only deepens frustration. Konuba said, there can be no rescue without freedom. The PUL reaffirmed its commitment to defining press freedom and supporting efforts to safeguard Liberia's democracy. Esther, I think we can stop here and send controls to you.
Of course.
To bring us more developments from the Inquirer newspaper, because there are too many stories there.
Of course. This morning before me, I have the Inquirer newspaper. We're going to be looking at all of the stories here this morning, even though we're not going to go in depth with all of them. But let's have it. We have Justice Ministry denies obstruction, says war crimes court process on track. Justice Ministry denies obstruction, says war crimes court process on track. The Ministry of Justice has reiterated the government of Liberia's commitment to establishing a war and economic crimes court, pushing back against recent public allegations suggesting delays and obstruction in the process. speaking at a high-level dialogue on the fight against corruption and accountability, a human rights perspective convened by the European Union in partnership with the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights and other stakeholders. The Minister of Justice addressed claims made by the Executive Director of the Office for the Establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, Jala A. Babu. Babu had alleged that the ministry was impeding progress towards the court's establishment. However, the ministry dismissed those assertions as false and misleading, emphasizing that the process is actively underway. But let's leave you there and look up more stories. Mysterious death swell, family cries for justice, suspect arrested. A cloud of grief unanswered questions hang over the Old Road community following mysterious death of 25-year-old Annette Sua, whose lifeless body was discovered under troubling circumstances, prompting her family to demand swift and transparent justice. According to relatives over the weekend, Annette was last seen alive earlier this week when she left home for what was described as a routine business engagement in central Monrovia. She was reportedly in the company of friends and later dedicated she was heading back home, but by the following day she had vanished without a trace. Concern quickly turned into panic as repeated calls to her phone went unanswered as family members said her sudden silence was deeply unsure, heightening their fears that something had gone wrong. Those fears were tragically confirmed 2 days later when news broke that her body had been discovered in a room. Wow. Kristen has a completion of this story. Let's run there and on the old rule. The room, according to preliminary reports, is allegedly linked to a Sierra Leonean national identified as Thomas Lahun, thus intensifying suspicion surrounding the circumstances of her death, and placed Lahum at the center of the unfolding investigation. A relative disclosed that Anna had previously mentioned Lahun and maintained phone communication with him through the family, though the family had never met him personally. She told me about him. They used to talk on the phone, but I never really knew him. The family member recounted, underscoring the limited knowledge they had about the suspect. The Liberia National Police confirmed that Lahun was arrested on Saturday by officers of the Zone 3 depot in Congo Town shortly after the discovery of Annette's body. He remains in police custody as investigators work to establish the cause of the death and determine whether foul play was involved. For the grieving family, the wait for answers is agonizing as they are calling on national authorities, including the Ministry of Justice, to ensure that the case is handled with urgency, professionalism, and full transparency. We want justice for our daughter. We want the truth. This is not something that should be covered up or delayed, a visibly distressed relative said during the Spoon TV interview. The incident has sparked concern among residents in the Old Road area, with many calling for heightened security and vigilance, particularly regarding interactions with unfamiliar individuals. But let's leave this story here. We have a lot more stories to look at on the same front page of the Inquirer newspaper. We have volunteer health workers increase in Limba. This is one of the stories, but let's jump to the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. We see PUP Bond County chairman resigns. Senior officials of the People Unification Party in Bond County has resigned from his position and withdrawn his membership from the party with immediate effect. In a letter dated April 24, 2026, addressed to acting chairman Benjamin Massaquoi in Monrovia, William Summerward announced that he is stepping down as county chair of the PUP's Bond County chapter. Summerward cited the expiration of the party's constitutional timeline for its national convention, which ran from 2020 to 2024, as part of the context for his decision. He noted that as head The head of any delay or planned convention, he had decided to relinquish his leadership role following consultations from family members, supporters, and associates. I am no longer interested in the position of county chairman, Summerward wrote, adding that the decision was reached after several consultations with my family supporters, friends, and well wishers. The former chairperson stated that his resignation extends beyond the leadership position, confirming that he has also terminated his membership with the party. As of the effective date of this communication, my membership is also relinquished with the People's Unification Party. With immediate effect, the letter said, some award expressed appreciation for the opportunity to serve, saying it had been a pleasure contributing to national development through the political institution. He emphasized his hope of improving the lives of Liberians through good governance during his journey. He concluded by wishing the party's leadership well in its future political engagement, expressing optimism about the country's prospects. That's it. And that's the story. Let's see our final story for the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. We have Bishop threatens Lutheran leaders against same-sex marriage. We're back to this topic, but let's take some lines from this story. It's an interesting one. The Bishop of the Lutheran Church of Liberia, Victor Partmo, has warned that any pastor who engages in same-sex marriage will be expelled from the church. Speaking recently in Bangabon County at the just ended 21st Biennial Convention and 166th anniversary of the Lutheran Church, Padmo said the church maintains a firm doctrinal stance against same-sex unions and would not tolerate violations by clergy. He noted that although the government has not legalized same-sex marriage, the church remains vigilant in upholding its teachings. Anyone found practicing it will be sent out of the church, Padmo said. If we notice it, we will send them away. He added that since adopting the strict position, the church has not recorded any related issues emphasizing unity, adherence to leadership. Padmo also said the Lutheran Church of Liberia continues to maintain strong inimical relations with both local and international partners despite developments within the Methodist Church. He described the church's long-standing ties with the United Methodist Church and the Episcopal Church of Liberia as cordial and productive. The bishop said the church remains actively engaged with the Liberian Council of Churches and other interfaith organizations. We are mindful of the current developments within the United Methodist Church, which has experienced a division resulting in the formation of the Global Methodist Church. He said Palmer noted that the Lutheran Church in Liberia has not yet established formal relations with the Global Methodist Church as it continues to study the situation. At present, we have not made any decision as a church whether to align with the Global Methodist Church or not, he said. We are still in partnership with the United Methodist Church. He emphasized that the church's approach is guided by scripture referencing Jesus Christ's prayer for unity in John 17:21, that they may all be one. Reflecting one past engagement, Padmo said the church previously addressed similar concerns with international Lutheran partners more than a decade ago. At the time, we developed our own position and we respect their views. We made it clear that we would not be a part of practices that conflict with our beliefs, he said. He added that the church also set policies regarding missionaries, stating that individuals engaged in practices contrary to its teachings will not be accepted. Since that time, we have not had any problems. We have continued to work together in mutual respect, Padmo said. Padmo reaffirmed that the Lutheran Church of Liberia remains committed to its partnership with the United Methodist Church while carefully discerning its position on emerging developments within global Methodism. Well, that's all of the story we have this morning. But let's see this. That is for the back page of this paper. Let's come back to this one. It says volunteer health workers increase in Nimba. Report of number of volunteer health workers is on the increase at the Ganta Rehab Leprosy TB Hospital Center and is creating serious concern among the residents in Nimba. Speaking to this outlet via mobile phone in Gompa, the president of the Worker Union of the Gompa Rehabilitation Center, Martin R. Dolo, explained that there is an increase in the number of volunteer health workers. Well, this then has a completion of the story. And it says they're assigned at the various units at the government health center in Nimba. According to Dolo, some volunteers have been working for more than 5 years without receiving a salary from the government. We are calling on the government to intervene by employing over 58 volunteer health workers to create a conducive working atmosphere between the workers and the administration. Dolo stated, I am an assigned psychologist working here as a volunteer and president of the Workers Union, Martin Dolo marked. But we will leave you here. The rest here is sports. I think this is NEC Shares website digital transformation with board. That's also one of the stories here we see this morning. And we're not interested in sport. Let's come this way. And ECOWAS boosts access to excessive device for children with disability in okay, that's foreign news in the Gambia. And we see ECOWAS holds regional training on migration data. ECOWAS experts conclude maritime strategy meeting in Lomé. That's in Togo. But let's take a break. When we come back, we will definitely come with our talking point. Let's take a short break. To be right back.
I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Garland Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
He said, hey, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. I was going to 20 put it to Ichiki. We are living since
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to serve the source of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Rabbi, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Gala Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, some guarantee 20 pop. Put it to Ichiki.
Oh, yes. Let's say a big thank you to our sponsors, Crime Stopper Liberia, Exeter's Best Price Store with 2 branches. One is on the Old Road, Smart Road Junction, and the other one is on Gurley Street. It's where you go and get everything to suit that special occasion. Whatever occasion you are having and you need drinks for that occasion, well, you can get it for cheaper price at Exeter's Best Price Store. So we want to say a big thank you to Mayuba and Sons Incorporated, one of the petroleum giants in this country. So these are the stories we read from the hard copies of the Front Page Africa and the Inquirer. All right, top stories: call to justified, institutional knowledge gap, diaspora news, it says from goodwill to lasting impact. And it says, learning from the past, youth hear the cost of leadership and ask for their turn. And Liberia, Sierra Leone face renewed scrutiny over crackdowns on dissent following lawmakers' expulsion. And activist sentencing creeping dictatorship is a question mark to that caption. All right, the Inquirer newspaper, Justice Ministry denies obstruction, says war crimes court process on track. And mysterious death swell, family cries for justice, suspect arrested. Lastly, for the front page of the Inquirer newspaper, volunteer health workers increase in Nima. The back page, PUP Bong County chairman resigns, and Bishop threatens Lutheran leaders against same-sex marriage. Those are all the stories we can bring you this morning. Let's send controls to the USA. Our man is ready to run us through the weather report. And from Tunis, we will be hearing from Aliyu Masaleh. Tunis, good morning from Liberia.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Esther. Aliyu, good morning. Good morning, Mama Liberia. Assalamu alaikum to everyone, Muslim brothers and sisters. How you guys? How was your weekend?
Everything was okay, you know.
Mine was great.
Yeah, everything was okay. My weekend.
I was also okay.
Even though LDC put us on a hole, we were in the heat. I mean, the entire day we had to spend it sitting outside of the house.
On the whole news for us now.
I know. How was your weekend? How was it from your end?
Our weekend was okay. We went to both Saturday and Sunday. I was invited somewhere, but one of the invitations were there, and we heard this terrible news from the White House. When they talked with the president and his wife, and some officials, the vice president would rush out of the corresponding dinner on Saturday evening. There was a gunshot interrupted by a young man, a very young kid from California, not even from around the area, from all the way California. So that was what happened. But it was nothing too big anyway, because it was not even at the dinner room. It was upstairs at the security area. He came with guns and all a couple of guns and knife. He shot at one of the security, even though the security was not hurt because he had a bulletproof and strong one too, so the guns shot did not penetrate. But he was brought down. He will be going to court today. He was charged felony charge and firearm all of that were on his rap sheet. Everything was safe. The president said he wanted for the dinner to go on, but for security reason, they had to. He admired the security efforts, and in 30 days the dinner will be held again. It will be repeated, but the dinner was not called back again, even though the gunshot were far away from them. But they still have to take precaution. The security have to take precaution, and the security advised said no, it shouldn't go on because they don't know how many gunmen in the place. But it was only a lone gunman, a young kid, very, very young. You know, his name was Cole Thomas Allen, 31 years old. Cole Thomas Allen, white boy. Anyway, that's the news from our end here. Everything's secure. Don't panic, because the most number one man in the world also can be rushed out of his own dinner table. And what kind of dinner, my man? For just a plate of food, almost 500,000 to $1 million just to sit in there. So that $100 over here, $100 for plate, no. In the thousands.
The people who trust their wallet, they don't want to be there.
Of course, an invitation would be sent to people who they trust that they can attend.
Of course,
these are the kind of dinner always every year they can have, and most of the time they call a comedian. The comedian will come and joke about them, joke them, just like how we joke each other. Yes, the true jokes. The comedian will come and joke jokes how they can behave. Some of them get really angry with the joke, but they can't do nothing because that's what the
That's
whole
comedy.
thing is about.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's the kind of party. This is a party, but they said they will bring it back, and they will anyway because everything was okay. But it was interrupted anyway with that gunfire.
Yeah,
And
we
then,
saw the video footage when the guys were trying to escape with the vice president. We saw the movement. The video footage is on the social media.
yeah, it's all over the world, man. That thing that it happened. It wasn't easy, but anyway, it's okay. Let me give you the weather report. The weather report as it is right now, it is mostly cloudy in the Monrovia area. It's about 85 degrees. Feels like 93 degrees. That's what it feels like. Okay, and the humidity, the heat part, y'all gotta really be afraid of. But way in the midnight area, it's going to rain. So be prepared. Probably that will be okay when you guys are sleeping. But the heat is very, very hot right now in the Monrovia area, and at nighttime it's going as far as 93 temperature. That's how the percentage, that's how high it's going to be. And it might rain probably in the daytime, but don't depend on it. The sun is heavily more than the cloud. But midnight definitely it might rain while you're trying to sleep. Tuesday is the same, 85, look like 92, and 60% of rain on Tuesday in the daytime, starting from the morning hour. It's going to rain. Yes, to tomorrow on, you already gotta be, even if it didn't rain, but you will not see the sun. But I believe it will rain because it's 60%. When they say 60, more than 50, 40, 50, 60 now, definitely that's a rain coming. The wind from northeast is about 6 miles per hour, don't depend on it. And the heat is very heavy, 79 is average, but it will go up to 90. That's the average. But don't worry, probably the rain will cool you guys down a little bit because now if it rains while you guys are sleeping, that's your air conditioner and your fan. Because you depend on LEC, you just depending on something else, not LEC. People paying their money, they don't enjoy nothing. They don't even enjoy the equipment in the house. No TV, no fan, no air conditioner. How you want us to live? We live in a civilized country like Monrovia, Liberia. Anyway, that's it. Today, Tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday is almost the same as Tuesday. Wednesday is almost the same as Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, they are almost the same. You're not going to see the sun, and you might experience thunderstorm. And the precipitation, which is chances of rain, is 60. And the heat on Wednesday is even higher than Tuesday. So go with these 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Today you are a little bit okay. It might rain way in the evening. Tomorrow it might rain all day, from morning hour all the way. It may rain and stop, not all day now, but expect rain and don't expect any sun tomorrow. It's going to be cloudy and thunderstorm. The same way with Wednesday. You hardly will see the sun. It will be that kind of suspend way, but it will rain definitely because the temperature is the percentage is high. So that's it. Say here from Freedom FM, and we always agree with our weather report. Thank you again, Mission Control. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Aliyu, let's hear from you, my brother. We all heard the weather report, so we've done with that. So let's get your comments on the issues we read from the papers.
And don't forget, Wendell, please send congratulations or Happy Independence Day to the Sierra Leoneans in Liberia. Today is their Independence Day.
April 27, yes, you read about that. April 27, I should have been there, but I had to change of plan. Anyway, congratulations to all Sierra Leoneans here in Liberia, the embassy of Sierra Leone, the ambassador, and all our Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters. Una kuche kuche. Yeah, boy.
Una gusheo, una Independence Day. To yesterday, we had
with the boil, salon de bois today, bro.
It's a holiday in salon today.
I got me from a salon. That's true. I get for talk so.
Okay.
You know to salon woman. Me not salon man. Yes. Aliyu, are you there?
Yes, yes. I'm here.
I thought that lady was holding your share color again.
How you doing?
Yeah, good morning, bro. Tunis, I'm okay.
Man, you must see me this weekend, man. Like I told you, whatever little you get, because it won't come into the end now, please.
No problem. I got you. Yes.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
You're welcome. Yes, so the issue now, yes, from the front page and all the other newspaper. Yeah, that's zero. Like this whole thing started with Prophet Key, and we said that Prophet Key, they started that whole thing with Prophet Key, but Prophet Key was now the main target. The people their target was Yeke Koluba, and what we are seeing now happening in Sierra Leone too. We know Mada Bio and Joseph Wakai. These people, they are always together. And like people say, oh yes, JMB from Sierra Leone, JMB from Sierra Leone. Now the same thing that is happening now in Sierra Leone, that's happening in Liberia to crack down freedom of speech in the country, which is not good. That's your constitutional right. But now it happening in Sierra Leone, it happening in Liberia, and these two countries, they shouldn't forget where we came from. The same 14 years we experienced Sierra Leone to the experience theirs. I don't know how many years their own lasted for. So we have to be very careful, more especially for us in Liberia. We know the same thing, like somebody want to be a dictator, you want to crack down on freedom of speech. That's what led us to 14 years of civil crisis in the country. And when we see this thing happening, then we start to remind people, this is what brought us into 14 years. And they will be like, oh, you people want to talk about war? No, but this is what led us to war. And this is the same train we are on again. And President Bouaka, you have to be very careful. Okay? This is not good for our democracy. At your age, we expect to see this thing happening under your watch. Okay? And this is why we always say, what is the change? Because yesterday, these were things that you campaign on. Oh yeah, there were bad governance. There was no respect for rule of law. And those things that you campaign against, you criticized yesterday, you are doing worse. And to our Sierra Leone brothers and sisters, Happy Independence Day. And to the president, you have to be very careful. We don't want no more shaking in Africa, more especially we all know what we went through. And today we saw Yeke Koluba now what he's going through. Where is Prophet Key today? Even when students gather to protest, they go after you. All of these things, they are not right. Like now they are heading to Amara Kone. You see, this is another one. This Amara Kone thing, people shouldn't take it to be joke. And the worst part of it is that we saw Amara Kone they go down with the former president. That's another one again. Because anybody that even said go close to George Weah is like you had done something to Joseph Boakai, you had touched his heart. You don't want to see anybody close to George Weah that working in his administration, even though Amara Kone was elected just as him. But now the statement Amara Kone made and they see him with George Weah, that's another problem. Because I listened to somebody saying why Amara Kone had to even go to Club Weah Foundation, they saw him there. So what is happening in the country? So nobody had right to associate with anyone that is with George Weah or anybody within the CDC. You see? And lastly, the statement Amara Kone made, in my mind, it has vindicated Yeke Koluba. Because Yeke Koluba said President Boakai went to Sierra Leone. He had a discussion with Dumuya, according to Yeke Koluba. And in that discussion, President Boakai, they discussed that, oh yes, that land belongs to Guinea. And when he came, he had a discussion with the senators and told them that the place belongs to Guinea. Looking at our military strength and the size of our military, all of these things, so they should just forget about it. And this is why Yeke Koluba continued to ask, why you discuss with the senators that you can't tell the Liberian people? The city you discuss with them, come and tell the Liberian people. Why you discuss with Dumuya, come and tell the Liberian people. Because you discuss with Dumuya and you agree that the place for Guinea, so you forget about it. And today, when Amara Kone made that statement, and I follow Nya Twain, what he wrote on social media, he said that what the president discussed with them, that they were not to come and discuss with anybody, they were to keep it a secret. It shouldn't be disclosed. And Amara Kone has spilled the beans. So, yes, go and read on Nya Twain page. Exactly according to him, what Amara Kone said was what the president discussed with them and said that it should be, they had a discussion behind closed door and it should remain there. So that means that what Yeke Koluba said was true. So the president is now putting our people in harm's way. He's not transparent to the Liberian people. Because if you know that this was why you discussed, come out and be straight up with your people. Then let them know. But today, our people are in their own country, in their own country, they have been displaced. So, if you say Amara Kone should be investigated, you also need to be investigated too. You see, because that's a security breach. Because you keep now, just to clarify what the president discussed with you behind closed door, that what Amara discussed, he spilled the beans. You are yet to allow Amara talk, and you're leaving from there, you go and hold him now, you discuss whatsoever you want to discuss. But by you coming out to say that what Amara said was what the president discussed with you behind closed door, and then Amara came and brought it out. So you said need to be investigated, because any discussion the president have with you, that's a national security issue that ain't supposed to come out. But you just give and told the Liberian people exactly what Yeke Koluba said. So that's it there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my people. One thing I want us to understand and remember, these people putting fear in us. All right, we should be mindful. But the election, the vote counts. All right, they putting fear in us. We should not be stupid to bring these people back, or else it will be, most of you will die before the second term finish with a broken heart, with a hard time. Don't be stupid like we were stupid during the Chancellor election. You kill my man, you kill my pa, I will vote for you. You feeling the pain Don't be carried away with $20 in a bag of rice. That's just few days enjoyment. $20 in a bag of rice. You see what is happening and what is unfolding right before your eyes. You're complaining every day. Your business are making profits. Your children, most of them not even going to school accordingly. Most of them be put out of school for so many days before they go back. They're behind the class, they're behind the lesson. They're way behind. You're experiencing this. When you go to cast your vote, only you and your conscience will be in that room. Do not be intimidated. Vote with your conscience. It may not even be George Weah because we don't know. By the grace of God, all the earth must live till we see 2029. But we may not know what might happen to George Weah before that day. But anyone else will vote for your conscience with your conscience. Do not be intimidated. Real it. Because what we're seeing here today is not what was promised to us. Okay, you're saying, oh, you say you're here from Freedom FM, one guy way in United States, one old man, because I'm an old man now. Whenever you're born, you go grow, you're young, you gotta get older. I'm in my 60s, but I experienced a lot of things unfolded right in my face, in my eye, in Liberia. What we're experiencing now, a lot of people feel good. They say everything look good. And so many of us say, no, it's not good. The promises were not, this is not what the promises were. Do not be intimidated when you enter the voting booth to cast your vote. That's all I can tell you, my people. You see what happening to me? I'm not worried about Prophet Kid or Yeke Koluwa or Costa or Jabatel. I ain't worried about these people because I'm here sitting here. I was asking God to bring some kind of dialogue to them. And I'm happy it happened, whether they lie on them or didn't lie on them. I ain't get time for that. Let them feel the pain when they are lying on other people. When they are insulting important people, important figures in our mix. When they are doing that. When they are insulting our mothers and sisters. You see, I'm warning you because we're very soft people in Liberia. Very, very soft. I can come right now and kill 100 people in Liberia. Everybody say, oh, Tunis is bad, Tunis is that. Tomorrow again, you will see sorry for me. Oh, Tunis, even though the man killed 800 people, but still, look what he's doing now. And what kind of people are we? Or we are? Well, this is even God, the Almighty God. He can never be sorry for Satan. The Almighty God, he can never in his way of, not in his nature to be sorry for Satan. So I beg you, man, I hold your phone. Don't do the same thing you did during the Chancellor election. Please, don't bring this government back to power. Except they change from now to the end, they make miracle for us to enjoy our life, for our children to go back to school happily, for our houses that they broke down, they pay for it. All of those things, they can do it for us, then we'll be happy. Probably we'll bring them back. But if it's still just like this, don't go vote with your conscience. This is what I can say to you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wanda, I just wanted to do a follow-up. How far, because I've not heard much on since Jonathan Wheeler was appointed by the president. How far have the Senate gone on with that? Has this guy been confirmed or is it still in progress?
Well, it's not to my knowledge, and I don't want to believe Jonathan Wheeler has been confirmed because If it is so, we would have gotten that information.
Right.
So I've been all on social media, following all the various, platforms, except for people who are giving opposing view, to his confirmation that he's a personal friend to the president, and such a man cannot be in such a position because he's not independent.
Mhm.
All right, so
And
that's the
besides,
issue.
besides the
He's a
man is
partisan.
exactly.
He's a Eupist,
Yeah.
and you
In
cannot
such a
have a
position
part.
should
Yeah.
have somebody with independent
Hmm.
mind,
Yeah.
not somebody who is a member of a party who has
Hmm.
interest in special thing and all of that. Because
Yeah.
we would definitely say in the end that this election or that election was not fair because we feel like this person is not the right person, to head such an institution. So yeah.
But as the thing is, we are not the ones who are to opposed to his nomination or confirmation. The political actors are there. There are a lot of political parties in this country,
Mhm,
and some are part of the current regime,
mhm.
while some are staying opposition.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, those who are wearing the shoes now, the feet, the shoes is not pinching them, so they ain't care. But the others who feel that the shoe is tight, you need to speak up. We are not the ones to speak for you. If you are happy with the president nomination, well, that's fine. So be it.
Right.
All right.
Well, I feel when they're like I feel like I
Mm.
have an opinion because I am a
Yeah, you have a
Liberian.
right. Yes, you do.
Exactly.
You do have a
So
right.
I can say that this
Uh-huh.
person is this or this person is like that.
But we cry, cry,
Coming
cry,
with
cry,
my
cry.
evidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people who's supposed to cry more than all, they're not crying. So will be crying for them every day. So if you think that you're satisfied with Wida, leave it. Let Wida be confirmed. But as the dictatorship is creeping in our country,
It
I
is
am
already,
telling
yeah.
you, I am telling you, look, the way how the president is proceeding, this president, I'm telling you, you want to run the country with hate, it's very bad. You cannot run this country with hate.
That's not a leader in the first
I
place.
remember James Colley was one deputy minister at the Ministry of Finance, all right, under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf regime. At the time, Waka was vice president,
Mm.
all right. I'm told way back in high school or somewhere, James Colley father, James Colley Sr., his father and Bwaka had some misunderstanding, and Bwaka kept it until this day. This boy went to visit the president. I think the vice president at the time needed to do something, something about the Ministry of Finance. So the issue was, brought before Joseph Bwaka. At the time, he was vice president.
Mhm.
When James Colley went to him, you know what he told James Colley?
Hmm.
You, the James, and you know what your pa did to me way back? I stay wholly in my heart against you.
Wow.
So if we can have this kind of president who will be paying back the things that happened to him long time ago, you are a deacon for that, for God's sake. President Bwaka, you are a deacon. And deacon who sits on the deacon bench, they cannot behave in this form and manner like the way you are proceeding. You don't want to see certain people survive. What kind of leadership is that? You did not want to see Fonati Kofa being there as speaker while you're president. You did all you could to have him removed. Now he's removed. You people dressed Yeke yesterday in a beautiful suit with Suso cussing all on it. Well, you was celebrating Yeke Koluba yesterday because Yeke Koluba were all over the place insulting the administration at the time when the Unity Party was in opposition. Today now, the very Yeke that was in the trenches, in the poo water, walking all over this country, making sure that Joseph Bwaka is elected, today he has been expelled because of his stance on the current administration. So, I mean, I just want to buy what Representative Tai Wongwe said, that whatever the president wants, he gets it. So, I mean, we just cry wolf. Anything the president want to happen in this country, it will happen.
Of course.
The man got his regime speaker there. He got all the lawmakers who are in support of him.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the majority.
Of course.
So whatever the president wants, he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just continue to cry. But
Mm-hmm.
look, the president is proving to Liberians that he is a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
You remember we hosted Isaac Jackson, the former IMO representative.
Right.
Isaac Jackson confirmed to us that this president has 17 grudges against his former boss, Ellen. So the president, he cannot run this country with hate.
Mm-mm.
As soon as you hear about somebody, oh, you that person, no, that person will not survive. Let's do all we can to break the wings
sad
of that
part
person.
about it is that he's a Christian. He goes to church. He's a deacon at his church.
Yeah.
Did your pastor never tell you about forgiveness?
Mhm.
I mean, are you not aware of that?
And you know, the thing is,
Let me tell you one thing.
let me let my thought to Tunes, you were coming shortly. You know, Esther, the thing is, look, the age of old man Bwaka, our president,
Mm-hmm.
when God spare your life to reach that age, Esther, it's like anything you do now, that God still must live for 70 years. If we pass 70 years, that his grace carrying us. So there is nothing about hate that we should keep in our hearts for our fellow men, because at that point you are closer to your grave, you know. So I mean, you just gotta keep a clean heart to your fellow men.
Of course.
But when you will keep hate in your heart, you take it to your grave. That's bad. Let's hear from you, Tunis.
I say the old man spoiling the kissy people name, and he's not a typical kissy man. You know, he bringing conflict between us and the kissy people, and he know very well he's not a kissy man. In the long run, the kissy people going to feel the pain. All right, because kissy people are very nice people. I'm friendly with a lot of them here, women or men. They are very nice people, but the old man, just because he's president, he's making them look bad. And they should be very careful what we're seeing here. Okay? The old man have a lot of grudges for no reason. As a president, you have to throw away all grudges. As a deacon or ministers at the church, you should throw down all grudges. Just move on. But thank God, by the grace of God, things will get better. People are hearing us, and some of them good. They will get us together by the grace of God. But anyway, what I want to say is, we didn't say anything about George Solo death. Our sympathy to the family.
I was following, you know, the social media about George Solo's death. You saw some posts that while CDC seditions are running with George Solo's death, George Solo is alive. He's not dead. I said, well, what is going on? Is he alive? Is he dead? What's the main right information? You know, people are saying, oh, George Solo, he died on the flight. He was headed to the United States to meet up with the president, and he didn't make it. But then we saw other posts from other people that George Solo is not dead. So I don't know. You know, I hope the family can call in. Some of his family listening can call in to, you know, confirm. But I mean, that's the information to this.
Oh, well, I read some things about him in a video clip, how he died at the Morocco's airport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that too.
So I don't know why would they just openly bring his death, die on the way coming here for medical checkup. That's what I read. But anyway, guys, probably by tonight we'll bring
The problem of George Solo, yes, it is confirmed by even his family members. And the guy who was with George Solo on the flight threw off from Morocco from the terminal when he started throwing out that with him out George Solo died right on the flight. Yes, he was on Spoon Network and he explained how everything happened. When George Soto died right in front of him, he was standing right there. The old doctors, nurses, they did everything on the plane. And he gave up right there. Because when they came over him, when they started checking him, they checked his eyes and they asked as to whether he had kidney problem. And he was like, no. And when they asked him if he was diabetic, according to the guy, they shook his head by answering yes. And he told them that he saw him taking some medication. They should check his bag. And when they checked, yes, or it was something that he was diabetic. And when they did his sugar and other things, and it was very, very low. And they did everything they could, but he died right on the flight. Yes, he's dead. And even his family confirmed that.
He died on the flight or he died at the airport? Which one?
He died on the flight. They were in the air.
Flight. That was the information that he died on the flight.
But the way you explained the thing to us, you said they checked him and they saw they opened his eyes and he died right there. This is where the check-in took place on the flight or at the airport.
On the flight.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Because they got on now when the way he saw George Soto and he told the flight attendants, is there any doctor on board? We want the pilot to announce there's someone here sick. If there is any doctor on board for them to come. And when they did the announcement, and I had some doctors that were on the flight, and they came there to see what they could do. You see, and that's how I got to know that he was diabetic, and I think his sugar was very low and other stuff. But so far, may he so rest in peace. And one thing I will say, we the sedition, or this is something, this was our former party chairman, and no matter what happened, he brought some good things to the party, and he left the party no matter what he said or whatsoever. This is time of bereavement. We should start posting and saying nonsense out there. It doesn't show any decency, and it doesn't show any sign of being a responsible party. So we should try to refrain from those negative and reckless and irresponsible statements. When someone dies, immediately all your differences with them, you put it aside and forget about it. So we should try to get responsible and mature and start writing nonsense and saying foolishness out there. Okay, nobody should be crying for George Weah. Why George Weah said can't come out to speak? George Weah don't have time for those things. But they will say, oh, he said this about George Weah, so you will be talking all kind of foolishness out there. This is not good. Thank you.
Thank you, Aliyu Masale. Thank you very much. Let me, before we send controls to Esther to read out the comments, I'd like to wish junior brother Anthony Benedashus Rabbit of the Ministry of Transport. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Esther. Let's take the few comments. Maybe we can squeeze in 5 calls and then
of course
we go from here.
Right. From our comment session this morning, we have Anishas Junior Bar. He says he's following from Nugutown. Estelle MG Bless says watching from Banosville Junction. Phoenicia's Junior Bar says we are coming back 2029. Kalike Passaway says good morning, family. Good morning to you, ma'am. We have Henry Tito Junior says good morning. My Freedom FM and the Radio LIB crew of Staten Island, New York City with our weather report, man. Good tunes. I'm following you from my residence in Caldwell. Thanks for the updates to our country, Liberia. We have Adam Oak says I'm following you live from Congo Town. Mary Tulia says good morning, my Freedom FM family. I'm watching you from Police Academy. Augustine Gifler says good morning, Freedom FM. I'm following you from Delaware, USA. And we have Asari Kanen says watching from my home in St. Paul Bridge. We have Hilton with Jado says watching from Greenville, Port Sino County. Clarence Obechi Dwyer says good morning, Wendell and Esther, and a good morning to our excellent weather reporter of a year. I'm watching this morning from Malika Hustle Ground in Monrovia. And he again says, I wish Joseph Boakai could give the people of Liberia a better report on the Guinea and Liberia border situation, like our weather report man, who always providing us with 99% report on our weather. Congratulations, Bobby. You can't lie like Omenjo. We have Stanley Sharif. He says, congratulations. I'm watching from Burrowville City. We have Moses Dennis says watching closely. Moses Dennis again says, you're absolutely right, Masale. We have Poka Robert. He says, good morning. Good afternoon. Great and hard working Freedom FM family. I'm what and now we have Toyiwa Harris. He says,
Toyiwa
watching
Harris.
from
Oh, our man Toyiwa Harris.
I'm watching from New Jersey. We have Pokat again. He says, I'm watching from my unknown destination this afternoon.
Your destination always unknown,
Always.
Poka. I'm Pokat
Always unknown.
for the recognition. I'm
Yeah.
Pokat.
And we'll get to the
We
Pokat.
can point, yeah. Yeah.
I
But
tell you.
folks, let's take few calls. Let's go to the lines and take few calls. Call us on the 0776 104 104 086 500 104. Let's take Man CC as our first caller today. Welcome to the show, Man CC.
Good morning, William.
Morning.
We still have to answer there and my children in the diaspora. My Sally, how you doing? My big brother Tony. My Allah, thank you so much for the show, William. I want to say sorry to the bereaved family, just solo. But what I want to say, William, that the man said, what Baka wanna what he can get? He say, okay, the person will keep them for Baka, we send a fight to go do it. No, that's the fact, William. The concern that we have,
Yeah.
for justice. Yes. We're pushing for justice and that just must prevail. On Baka, it must prevail. On Baka, they told us that they were back on we are. So on his regime, let it prevail. Let it be for all men in this country. Not for only few person. No. And no, you them. What they keep to change, Window? The my question always asking Baka, you keep to change what? You keep to change city and now you still in the best. You doing the west. Your pocket fill, your pocket one of our low foot. What you keep to change? We say one get angry with me. Yeah, because you keep to see. Come to help us. You keep to kill Liberia in your country and nothing is doing for us. That will say we're not company calling all door today. That when you pass anybody a door back in, you when you through the door, you please, you will not go there because you are a bro. Oh, back out, you ever there. If you do the better, we're not back out the door, then we're not back out. You will see, we are giving a man job to our boss to learn how to give the man job. The water was better than the man in this country. You move the customer that cafe for you, that free roads, everything for you. Put oil, everything oil, so you put it inside. Then you put it in now you bring beyond the database, man, right? And so ready to do it when they're what we look for what they brought to us that the who door will be putting there one by one. And they say, oh, now we know what we be doing, the rest must be doing ready. But still customer ready to it. But they won't see look like ready to it. But take all for a day or wound there. So then tomorrow you not even to maintain it tomorrow window. I want to pay you call cheese. What is the cheese that you brought to the people? What is cheese? Our children are in school. We are suffering. So this girl didn't mean that is a window. They talking about cheese. So I want to say sorry about my brother and my son that you say we're talking out there. That's true. Or so I thought nothing, I will respond to them. Don't you we can put our impact on the one man want to work, John.
Okay.
We don't want to get that man.
Thank you.
Respond to them.
Thank you, Man CC.
Respond to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Man CC. Thank you very much. Let's talk to Gus Helps. Gus is on the line. Let's take you, Gus. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Tunis. Good morning, Aliyu.
Good afternoon from my end,
And
Gus.
good afternoon, sorry. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all peace-loving Liberians who are in tune. You know, this issue about the lane saga between Guinea and Liberia is something that people shouldn't play with the Liberian people. Our authorities have to be open about the situation there to ensure that Liberians living in the border communities have confidence to go about their various activities as they have always done over the years. Having said that, you guys raised a story about the president's vindictive attitude and made reference to Dr. James Colley. The actual story is something like he was 6 years old, and his father and the late James Colley Sr. were working together and they had some misunderstanding. One of them senior, but this fellow wrote Poika, the president, and the president kept it. When an opening for, I think, a promotion came about and Dr. Cody expressed his interest in Toto, go to his uncle, the president reminded him by showing him the letter his father wrote him. The president now, when Junior was 6 years old,
Mm-hmm.
that is the kind of president we have, or deacon, somebody who is cognizant of forgiveness as is enshrined in the Bible. Thank you.
Thank you, Gus. Thank you so much. Let's squeeze in 2 more calls and then we go home. Let's talk to this person. Esther, you can squeeze in some the last 2 calls. Oh my gosh, we have one here. Okay.
Let's take this one first. Hello, welcome.
When I talk to you guys later.
Okay. All
Hello,
right,
welcome to
Suleiman.
the show.
Take
Go
care of
ahead.
yourself, buddy.
Thank you.
They call me. I think we'll get to the point. Well, yeah, if people are pretty, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to worry. That as a specialist, but I'm not going to let it go. Then today, I'm not going to lie. When it seems too big, the army is not sufficient. If the army is very expensive, why do you go to the expensive? Let it go online, let's check it. Show that the army is expensive. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bring it to power. You tell you what the artist specialist, you know the best of computer.
Okay, then. Thank you very much for calling. Let's go to another person. That's our last caller for today. Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Question. My dear sister Esther, grade 1, and thanks to my big brother, the winner, and I'm Bokat Robert. And that's what you did morning for an unknown destination. People will know, I listened to our people saying that why we should buy more Mr. Sulu or why he has passed. I mean, why he let him pass. It's true that nobody pray for somebody to pass. But somebody actually go on some proceeding of being very ungrateful. And I think I learn, trust me, we don't see it for us to be forced to give somebody that don't see our goodness as getting up or returning ungratefulness. They get a condolence as a goodness towards them. No. For Papa will say no to that. That's very clear. We stop even in the power. They say the wicked. I think the mentality in the power is we are not the wicked or what I feel to the wicked. Because they mention when somebody do you good, they even nothing to laugh. But you always got to recognize it. It will not be paid by that person, it will be paid by the Almighty. So when you pay the person ungratefulness, it will be paid, the ungratefulness will be paid to you by the Almighty. That's what we are seeing. You see, today you see Mr. Parker coming, we have given our Lord give her half when we put it all left. But we are showing concern. I need to bring him back to left. And you see what you are doing to today. And today, tomorrow, when you see when something happens, we just pray for it. Then you expect all to say, oh, Mr. Parker, and you go to the one. No, it's all a bit different. We're not single friend. We are patriots. When you do something, we'll get a flower. When you do wrong, we'll always get a flower. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We're not taking any more calls. So we're done with calls. So let me say, the amount of people who I guess celebrating birthday. Jerry Coon Jackson of Grand Bassa County, the city of Buchanan. Today is your birthday calls. Happy birthday to you, Elizabeth Sapapellam. Today is also your birthday. She's the mother of the former representative for district. What's district number 9? I think so at the time. All right, so Mona Pelham, Elizabeth Sapa Pelham, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Doreen Jade Nimne. Today is also your birthday. And Anthony Benedashos Rabbits of the Ministry of Transport, happy birthday to all of you. God's willing, the team will be back here tomorrow on behalf of all of us, Aliyu Masaleh, Esther Daku, and Suleiman Tunis, and Gus Korma, Wendell. Want to wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful week.
Hello?
Yeah, Aliyu.
Yeah, just 30 seconds. I just want to respectfully disagree with Poker Rabbit. The problem is George Solo, our party chairman, the late may so rest in peace. And he left the party. He said all sort of thing about George Weah and the party. And when you are ungrateful, God deal with you right down there. And we saw what he was going through with the Unity Party since they took over. When they appointed him on this side, no way. So God was already dealing with him. Today he's dead and gone. But you going to criticize him and say this thing, what the difference when he's already dead? So if you wanted to buy Murphy or say anything when he was alive, that's the time to attack him. But now that he's dead, why would the body here? That's not good. So I respectfully disagree with you. Be safe out there. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Ali. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Have a great week from your end.